Hello, good afternoon. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about EMDR and my journey with it. I obviously have just recently started EMDR therapy, and so far I feel very positive and optimistic about it. I suffer from depression, anxiety, and complex PTSD. I have been working with a traditional talk therapist for a couple of years now, and she's great. We've made a lot of progress. I also work with a psychiatrist who monitors my medications. I'm on antidepressants and I'm on 2 medications to fight nightmares from PTSD. And he's the one who actually advised me to look into EMDR. He explained to me that traditional talk therapy is, well, it's the heavy work when it comes to mental health wellness. And the medication component is like a quick fix or temporary fix. EMDR, he said, is a bridge between the two. So just imagine that I've hurt my arm very badly. The medication component is kind of like slapping on a Band-Aid for temporary assistance until I can get the medical help I need. Traditional talk therapy is going to be the hard work of rebuilding strength and flexibility in my muscles and connective tissues, kind of like doing physical therapy, so that I can come back better and stronger than ever. However, you can't get from the Band-Aid to the hard work if the original wound isn't healed. Sometimes instead of just a Band-Aid, we might need something bigger. We might need stitches. We might need a stronger, more permanent fix. If we don't stitch up the wound, it's just going to reopen and cause pain while we're trying to do the heavy work of healing. Then we have to put on more Band-Aids. Sometimes you also need surgical fixes, such as stitches, along with a bandage to get to the healing. EMDR, I hope, is going to be that bridge for me. So welcome to Lily's Antidepressant Life. I am here to share my journey with depression in the hopes that I can connect with you and validate you and help you feel like you're not alone, because you aren't. We're in this together. I'm not a professional psychiatrist, psychologist, or therapist. I am simply a person who truly understands how deep the well of depression can run. So why did I decide to try EMDR? Well, not to be dramatic, but it boiled down to an urgent sense of survival. My PTSD makes it very difficult to sleep. I am haunted and plagued with nightmares, vibrant, bone-chilling nightmares that make me, or not make me, but make sleep so elusive for me. And it also breaks it up when I do have the chance to fall asleep. When my nightmares are particularly bad, I will wake up heart pounding up in my throat, panicked, often literally in the process of running out my door until I wake up enough to calm myself down. Even if I've been asleep, this will interrupt restorative sleep, the kind of sleep that the body needs to function properly. To make matters worse, I can have several of these episodes in a single night. It can be terrifying, and it plays with my mind to the point where even when exhausted, my body can't relax enough to fall asleep because I'm just waiting to wake up in terror. Not good. If I can't get restorative sleep, my body is constantly functioning in survival mode, and I will never get to heal in that state. When I am awake, my PTSD still hinders my day-to-day living. Let me take a sidetrack and give a quick little PSA. Motorcyclists, your engine revving is incredibly triggering. I know from talking to other people that I am not unique in this, that loud, deep, metallic rumbling noise coming from an unspecified direction is hugely triggering. And I ask that you just try to be kind to other people on the road. You don't need to rev up excessively. Or I live on a long street. You don't need to like race down a street that you know people are living on. It's very triggering. Anyways, I am often stuck in a fight or flight mode. I'm tense and on edge. I'm prepared for an ever constant threat of danger. I don't sleep well and I'm easily startled. I'm like a dog on the 4th of July. I know the next noise is coming, so I can't relax. So I just want to hide under the bed, under the covers. And you know what? It sucks. It's not a great way to live. So again, not to be dramatic, but I decided to try EMDR really out of a basic need for my well-being. I can't live a full life if I hit the floor every time an announcement is made on a grocery store PA system, or if my lack of sleep leaves me in a zombie state. That is not a high quality of life. And I want to live life more positively. I don't want to feel trapped in my body and mind, held hostage by thoughts and reactions that I can't control. I want to get better. And that's why I decided to start EMDR. Again, I'm not a professional, so I can't give you an explanation regarding the science behind this therapy, nor can I teach you how to do it at home. I just want to share my experience. When I was looking into it, there were not a lot of people that had shared experiences, and so I had to kind of wander in, not knowing what to expect. The first thing I want to say is it actually took me a lot longer to begin the actual therapy than what I had expected. If you've heard about EMDR, you know it's got a lot of visual movement side to side, and we didn't get to that for several sessions. We met together a lot, and that was honestly frustrating to me, because if you read about it online, you'll see that some people can be helped in as little as like 3 sessions. And in my 3rd session, we still hadn't even started doing the fingers back and forth. And this is because of one little word: complex. I have complex PTSD. This means that there are several reasons for my PTSD. It was not caused by one single traumatic event, such as a car accident that you can walk through and recover from. Mine is caused by many traumas piled on top of each other. It's difficult. So to use the injury metaphor again, instead of just having a little bruise on my arm, I have a wound that is open and painful and in danger of becoming infected. A Band-Aid isn't going to be enough of a cure. Complex, that's me. And with that in mind, my therapist really took the time to get to know me, my triggers, my main therapeutic focus, and most importantly, we built a connection. So I trust her, and she can basically read me like a book. She can tell when I'm getting agitated without me saying anything. So EMDR is a therapy that allows the mind to take the lead in the session. We would start with a particular goal in mind, a specific starting point. But I learned very early on that this therapy is productive because it allows you the freedom to let your mind wander and lean into the areas it most needs to go. I think it's very human to not want to go into those uncomfortable areas, and that discomfort can turn into panic. So it's important to have a therapist who can watch you for signs of distress and knows how to help calm you down if you become upset, and somebody that you feel you can trust. Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead a few sessions to the first actual guided EMDR. That's when we start doing with the fingers. EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization, right? Desensitization and reprocessing therapy. My therapist and I decided on a particular thread to pull on for that first day, and then she directed me to focus on that thought as she began moving her fingers side to side, and my eyes would follow while I pondered the focal thought that we had chosen. Let me just say, the brain is an incredibly impressive organ. At first, I felt like I couldn't stay focused and my thoughts were jumping all over the place. And then I realized that that was exactly what was supposed to happen. I had the original thought seed, and from there, I let my brain wander through its own path. It's like wandering through a field of wildflowers. You know, the real pretty kind that are tall and growing unchecked, so you don't have a path. You have to work hard to get through it. I'll encounter thick bushes and piles of rocks, and I'll inevitably have to go around and make detours. And even in the middle of a field of vibrant orange poppies, I might spy a majestic purple bluebonnet, and I'll be drawn away from my original route to go explore this new eye-catching thing. That's a lot like what EMDR feels like. So, for my first session, we focused on my feeling that I am not in control of my life. That's a big theme of my PTSD. Unexpected movements, loud sounds, feeling my nightmares are really happening. These are all things that I am not in control of. I feel victimized by it. I feel like I can't control it and I can't stop it. So I just have to accept it. And that's not a great way to live. I don't like feeling like a victim. So my therapist moves her two fingers from side to side like a pendulum in a rhythmic pattern. I don't really know how long each one lasts, maybe 30 to 60 seconds, I'm not sure. Back and forth, and I'm focusing on that, back and forth, while my brain is thinking. Sometimes my therapist talks, sometimes she just observes. Since she has taken the time to know me, she's able to direct me safely and can sense when I am becoming agitated. When that happens, she'll stop and help me get back to a safe place emotionally. So my original thought focus was the statement that I don't feel in control. We went through the session and my thoughts, like I already said, were bouncing all over the place. We would take a pause, close our eyes, do some deep breathing, and then she'd ask me what new thoughts had popped up in my brain. At first I was embarrassed, really embarrassed, because my brain was wandering like a daydream in the middle of a high school economics class. That is until I realized that, yes, that was supposed to happen like that. In a nutshell, I wasn't trying to control my brain. I was letting it lead me where it needed to go. And it was naturally showing me where it was hurt. It was showing me where the Band-Aid wasn't enough, and I desperately needed stitches to mend the wounds deep inside of me. I jumped from the original thought focus to feeling like I don't matter, and my thoughts don't count. And from there, I went down a weird spiral of negative self-talk. It wasn't pleasant, but that's where my brain needed to go. After each interval of the metronome patterns, we would discuss what my brain was thinking and create a new focal thought. My therapist was excellent. She would check in and make sure I was doing okay and not getting overwhelmed. She was a constant guide, leading me but letting me choose the path to wander through the field of wildflowers. She also had me create a signal to stop when I felt overwhelmed, and for me, I simply chose to hold up my hand in a stop motion. When I created that, I had no idea that I would even use it, but I did, and I've used it quite often even, because sometimes feelings are just flooding, and I just need that little break. So like this first time we were working, and I was suddenly overcome with very strong feelings of anger, thick, choking anger. And this was odd because I'm not an angry person. I'm rather calm, I'm rather happy. I am dubbed the reluctant optimist for a reason. My glass is always half full. There's always another rainbow right around the corner. So when I suddenly felt incredibly angry without really knowing why that anger was there, I had to use my stop signal and regroup. And I remember saying, I think I did something wrong. I just started feeling super angry and I don't know why. And her reaction was cute. She goes, that's good. That's good. You're doing it right. That's what we want to have happen. It's not choreography of emotions. We don't plan it out. We don't choose the steps. It's more like a free-for-all. And we need to lean into those feelings. So we explored my anger for a while in a safe, comfortable place. I was angry. I am angry. I am angry that things have happened to me beyond my control. I am angry that I have been victimized and used as a pawn. And those feelings are justified. I am allowed to feel angry. But it's not okay to just say, oh, I'm angry, and now I'm going to ignore that. I needed to process those feelings. Now, I've talked and written a lot about forgiveness. I think as children, we're pushed to forgive quickly and forced to internally absorb the residual hurt as our own personal problem. I remember one time in elementary school, I got kicked in the shins during a kickball game. It hurt. It was an accident, of course. The kid didn't mean to do it, but it really did hurt. And the teacher had the child apologize to me, and then I was required to forgive them right then and there. I had to say, oh, it's okay, even while my shin was still throbbing in pain. It doesn't feel like being angry is okay then. I didn't get to process that thought, that feeling. I felt pressure to move on quickly, even while I was still suffering. This is how I grew up and matured into the adult I am today. I tend to stifle anger and rush into forgiveness, even while my shin is still throbbing. That isn't right. And I know that. I'm sure you know that. But knowing something and putting it into practice are two totally different things. In trauma, I've been pushing myself to get past it quickly and move on, to forgive and forget. I just want to start living life again. But my brain had other plans. My brain was stuck. I needed to be angry. I needed to feel that anger because I needed to process that anger. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to move forward. That first EMDR session was huge for me. It wasn't like I learned something new. I just recognized that my brain wasn't processing my trauma the way I thought it should. I thought I should be more in control of it. And that's just not the way the brain works. That's just not the way emotions work. So I've been working with EMDR for a few months now, and it has already been a game changer for me. It's not a quick fix. You know, it's not going to be 3 sessions and done because of that word, complex. And I'll be exploring a lot more of this in upcoming podcasts. By the way, be sure to hit your thumbs up or subscribe to my channel so you know when more content comes out. And I can say that although I'm still using the Band-Aid of medication, I feel good that I have finally taken the step to stitch up my wound. And beyond a Band-Aid, I'm really starting to heal. I have a lot more work to do and I know it, but I'm happy to report that my nightmares have changed drastically. The most consistent nightmare I used to have was being cradled in the arms of a person who was stabbing me repeatedly. It was horrible. It was, so deeply personal, and there was heart-pounding terror. I woke up in the middle of it feeling as though it were real. I could feel it. I could feel the hands on me. I could feel the stabs. And I was helpless and, oh my gosh, scared out of my mind. I don't have that nightmare anymore. I haven't had that nightmare in months. I still get bad dreams, but now they're usually of some faceless bad guy trying to break into my home with the intent of hurting me. It's still scary, but I'm not actively being attacked. You see, there's a barrier. There's a wall. The threat is outside. It's not happening to me. There's a layer in between. And it makes me feel safer. I don't wake up in that same panic anymore. Instead of being terrorized by the realness, the feeling of authenticity of the nightmare, I'm now removed. Like I'm not a passive participant. It's more like I'm watching it happen, like a movie. This is incredible. I'll even go as far as to say it has been life-changing. I'm going to continue to share my progress in this journey, but I have to say, if you've considered EMDR, I'm having great success with it. It is worth the hype. It is worth the work. I'm really happy with it. Okay, all my depression warriors, stay safe out there. Remember to always make you a priority. And remember, you are never alone. We are all in this together. And we need to stand strong.